Hi, my name is Mordecai, and in case you never heard, 2 weeks were added to the Zimbabwean lockdown, but things are a little bit flexible now than what we had before, since this is a level 2 lockdown. Plus, we're running out of food, so the production sector really had to be opened. Plus, in other news, Zimbabwe now has another law.
Noticing that there is now a gradual increase of infections, the lockdown will continue for the next 14 days. However, relaxed to level 2. This entails the following adjustments. 1. All people must wear masks of any type, including homemade ones, outside their homes.
Look, times are changing. So if you sin without a mask in public, you would definitely get arrested. But you know what this means though? This means wanted criminals can now just easily blend into society, and you might never know. It might be your mom, and you might never really know. Plus, you can also just get accused of committing a crime when you didn't, because obviously the description will definitely include putting on a mask when they go to the cop shop. And like, honestly, me yesterday, I was totally accused for something that I didn't do. I was really, really innocent, for instance. So I woke up with this girl, we go to her house, we have lunch, and my wife says I was cheating. How was I supposed to know? Those things are just the same. I thought it was my wife, honestly. I mean it. Plus, China's now making headlines again. United States claims they have evidence to prove that China created coronavirus in a lab in Wuhan. Yeah. And also, when the whole world didn't know about the COVID-19, apparently China already knew and was piling up on medical supplies when we're all just blind and stupid.
We saw Secretary of State Mike Pompeo really point the finger at China this morning, not just over the origins of the virus, claiming that it did originate in that lab in Wuhan, but also accusing China of stockpiling medical supplies in the early days of the virus.
There's enormous evidence that that's where this began. We've said from the beginning that this was a virus that originated in Wuhan, China. We took a lot of grief for that from the outset, but I think the whole world can see now.
You know what? I'm just going to say this. The whole world was screwed. This is the same situation where you go to your in-laws and your wife doesn't tell you that there's no water in the loo. And before you know it, your mother-in-law is knocking on the door. So what do? I've been in that situation. I don't know if you've ever been. It's a weird and awkward situation. There's only one sane and righteous thing to do. Just man up, put it in your pocket and leave. Don't even say hi, don't even say bye. Just leave. Because trust me, you can never get back from that one. Imagine the dinner. She knows everything about you. It's just totally weird. Plus, you know what? In short, China really denied this the same way that they denied ill-treated Africans in China.
Now, the issue of the treatment of Africans in China causing some new diplomatic sparks to fly, right?
Now, several African nations have now responded to these claims of mistreatment. That's the likes of Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya and Zimbabwe, and they've demanded China act on these claims. Now, on Monday, we've had a response from China. They've said they've denied the mistreatment. They said basically there's been no discrimination against their African brothers, and they said they have a zero tolerance for racial discrimination against the African community in that city.
Well, if those guys are really innocent, then you know what? I just have to rethink my whole understanding of the world. If those guys really are not to be blamed, then who knows, man? Maybe Jesus is even Chinese. Who really knows? I just feel like as Africans, we really can't catch a break.
How is it that a virus that originated from China somehow came to be blamed on the black bodies by the same Chinese authorities? In less than 100 days since the first case of coronavirus was reported in Wuhan, authorities in China are saying coronavirus is from Nigeria.
Yes, this is not ours. COVID-19 is not our baby. Plus, if it was African, it wouldn't have emerged in towns or cities. It would have came from our rural areas, cause that's where our science lives. Plus, it would only kill our relatives and that guy who thinks it was much better than me. Because the moment we just learned how to control lightning, we just don't want to complicate things. Because with our science, one other thing that we're really good at is if your husband cheats, we can make his men disappear. That's what we're good at. False alarm is there. So moving on with the show, how do Chinese people really feel about us as Africans?
So guys, this is
These photos of African men paired with photos of animals were exhibited in a show called This is Africa. It took place in early October in a museum in Wuhan in eastern China.
A Chinese national was captured on video insulting Kenyans, and the president is being deported. Liu Jiaqi was referred to Kenyans as, quote, poor black smelly monkeys, end of quote.
This is all the Kenyans, like a monkey. Even Uhuru, Kenyatta, all of them.
It's like a monkey?
Yeah, sure.
The president of this country?
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, I'm really hurt right now. This is so degrading and very painful. But we have to understand though, it's not all the Chinese people that are racist. This is the reason why I never brought up that Chinese human monkey guy from Journey to the West. A really good actor, if you might ask me. But the only person that I know on earth that resembles a monkey.
But for a story of justice and brightness, which remains a classic to this day.
Did you just see that Chinese monkey guy? You see, this is the reason why I never brought it up and decided to become the mature person, because somebody has to be right here. And in case you don't know, China is getting overpopulated by each day, and the government has to come up with plans for its citizens.
They just want to wipe you guys out. China will have no room by 2050. Right? So in the next 30 years, their population is set to skyrocket to the extent that they will not have any room left. And they're already there. You think they're coming and building infrastructure for you guys? They're not. They're preparing that shit for themselves.
Okay, that's quite convincing, but I don't buy it. It's a lie. China doesn't want to invade Africa. China wants to be the next Africans. Yeah, you got that. And I have evidence. Check this out.
For those that have 50 euros, rush forward. For those that have 50 euros, quickly rush forward. Rush forward.
Bottle of Jameson in my hands. In my hands. I don't have no plans. I don't have no plans.
Yo, that Chinese dude can definitely dance. But I don't know if it's just me though. I don't know if you see this. Looking at the xenophobic attacks and looking at how awesome Chinese people can dance, don't you kind of in a way feel like they actually make a better version of South Africans? Honestly? And that pastor is just priceless. He loves money like our prophets. There's no difference at all. And you might never know with Chinese people. Maybe as we're speaking, they're actually making another version of Passion Java. Twimidi in Chinese. So now, giving you good news, in September we might have the COVID-19 vaccine.
Scientists in England may have developed a vaccine for the virus. Liz Kotelik is live as she works from home this morning. And Liz, they're saying we could have a vaccine by as early as September.
But Nine Health expert Dr. Pyle Coley says there is a concern about time. Vaccines usually take between 5 to 15 years to produce. But with this vaccine, if all goes according to plan, researchers say millions of doses could be shipped in September.
Scientists at Oxford's Jenner Institute began a trial involving 1,100 people last week, which they'll expand to 6,000 participants in May. If successful and with fast-tracked approval from the regulator, the first few million doses of a vaccine could be available by September.
This is just amazing. Great news right there. Things have to get back to normal. Even though normal means that I have to resume paying my child support, it doesn't matter. Things have to get back to normal. But let's look at the bright side. And this right now, I'm not paying child support and everything is just fine and cool. But even though scientists are working day and night trying to come up with this awesome vaccine, new things are being learned about the COVID-19.
Doctors in Wuhan woke up to the shock of their lives. They were diagnosed with the coronavirus. They were under treatment for 2 months. And now suddenly their skin has turned dark.
This is Dr. Yi Fan, pictured before catching the virus and after his treatment.
My God, this is just scary. So this is the reason why the Chinese people were chasing away all the Africans, because they can now make their own. I see you. This is scary and cool at the same time. So please remember, when you leave the house or if you go in the public, carry your mask. cause you might avoid being the next Michael Jackson. With COVID-19, you may never know. The symptoms are just weird. Anywho, I go by the name of Modi K, and this has been the Victory FM's Directory. Please remember, stay home, be safe. If you're going out in public, carry your mask, cause you might catch COVID-19 or be arrested.